Hi everyone, this is Claire from Susan's family. Today I'll teach you how to make a toy from the Constellation series, the Pisces doll. This doll consists of the main part and accessories. Start by making the main part. For the creation of the main part, please refer to the separate video tutorial on the plain body. After completing it, make the accessories. The accessories include the facial features, hair, necklace, and clothing. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific making method. Let's start with the facial features. Begin with the nose, then the eyes, blush, and ears. First, make the nose. Locate the increase point from round 13, which is the slightly protruding part of the head. There are 6 single crochets between the increase stitches on each side. Between these 2 middle single crochets, at the stitch position below in the previous round, glue a small purl for the nose. Next, determine the eye positions. Count upwards from the nose to the second circle. In the middle of this circle, there are 4 single crochets. Mark both sides. There should be an interval of 4 single crochets between the eyes. Each eye occupies 4 single crochets. Mark them the same way. Now make the eyes. Take a piece of black yarn. Separate 2 strands. Thread it into a sewing needle. Insert it from any position behind the head. Exit at the lower right corner of the eye position. Reinsert it at the middle of the left marking position. Then exit again from the lower right corner of the third stitch on the right side. Slightly tighten. Pay attention to bending the eyes into a curve. Secure them with glue. Then insert it 2 stitches apart. Exit at the left eye position. Slightly tighten. Let there be some overlap below the eye. Secure it again with glue. That's how you make one eye. Make the other eye symmetrically using the same method. Finally, thread the yarn tail to the back. Once the eyes are securely fixed, trim off any excess yarn tails. That completes the eyes. Finally, apply some blush below the eyes. Next, let's crochet the ears. Take a look at the finished product. There are 2 ears. Both start with a magic ring. The new stitch used is T-half double crochet S slip stitch. Let me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Use the remaining strand from the head to crochet, reserve a 10 cm tail, and start with an adjustable magic ring. Chain 1 as the beginning chain. Then hook 1 single crochet into the center of the magic ring. 1 half double crochet, yarn over once. Insert. Draw the yarn through. There are 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook once. 1 half double crochet is now complete. Crochet another half double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook, pull the yarn through. Yarn over again, and pull through all loops on the hook. Another half double crochet is now complete. Work 1 single crochet next. Then work 1 slip stitch into the large hole of the starting ring. Insert your hook, yarn over, draw the yarn through, pull through all the loops on the hook once. Slip stitch is now complete. This is the braid formed by the slip stitch. Tighten it up. Chain 1 to secure. Stretch the loop. Leave a 10 cm tail and cut the yarn. Gently tighten. Close the magic ring. One ear is now finished. Work the other ear in the same way. Next, attach the ears to the head. Thread the longer tail of the ear into a yarn needle. Make sure the right side of the ear faces forward. Align the top edge with the round of single crochets just below the eyes. Position it 2 single crochets away from the outer corner of the eye. Locate the corresponding position. Whip stitch along the bottom edge of the ear to attach it to the corresponding position on the head. Tie a double knot when finished. Hide one tail end inside the head. Also hide the other yarn tail inside the head. One ear is now sewn on. Follow the same method, and sew the other ear symmetrically. Remember to keep the right side facing forward while sewing. Look everyone. This is what the sample looks like after the ears are attached. Up to this point, the making method for facial features has been fully explained. Next, let's learn how to make the hair part. Take a look at the finished product. The hair includes the scalp, strands of hair, hair ends, and hair accessories. Let's start by learning how to crochet the scalp. The scalp begins with a magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Start with a magic ring. Then crochet the first round. Begin with one chain stitch. Not crocheting in spirals. At the start of each round, you need to make a beginning chain. The beginning chain for single crochet does not count as a stitch. Next, crochet 8 single crochets into the magic ring. After completing, tighten the magic ring. Then, on the first single crochet stitch, finish with a slip stitch. That is, crochet on the second chain from the left side of the yarn tail. 1, 2, it's this large chain. If you really can't tell, you can also count back from the last stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's still this stitch. Slip stitch. Pull tight. The slip stitch is not indicated in the form. When not crocheting in spirals, always finish by joining with a slip stitch and tighten it to avoid accidentally crocheting too many stitches later. This completes the first round. Move on to the second round. Start with one chain. Crochet one single crochet increase into the next stitch below. Make sure to secure the starting yarn tail while crocheting. Then pick the adjacent stitch on the left. Work single crochet increases correspondingly. After completing, you can check the stitch count. Then join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. That is, at the first large braid, on the left side of the opening. Tighten it. The starting yarn tail has already been worked around once. You can cut it directly. The second round is complete. This completes the scalp part. Take the side with clearer texture as the right side. After completing the scalp, crochet the hair strands. Continue crocheting on the scalp. After finishing, secure it to the corresponding position on the head. The new stitch used is F double crochet. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Continue crocheting with the same yarn from the scalp. In the table, Untitled refers to the first to the third strand. All are crocheted in the same way. Start with the first hair strand. Crochet 21 chain stitches. Dow 2 means starting the crochet from the second chain stitch from the hook. Count back from the side of the hook. 1, 2. This is the second to last chain stitch. Insert the hook into the top loop of the second to last chain stitch. Make 1 single crochet. Continue by picking up the thread on the left side of the adjacent chain stitch. Work evenly to complete the remaining 6 single crochets. Move on to crochet 7 double crochets. Let's start with the first one. Yarn over once. Insert the hook. Pick up a loop like this. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops. There are 2 loops left. Yarn over and pull through once. 1 double crochet is now done. Move on to the second double crochet. Yarn over. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over on after another. Pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this twice. 1, 2, double crochet complete. Continue to finish the remaining 5 double crochets. Then work 2 half double crochets. And 4 single crochets. Then on the left side of the scalp, work 1 slip stitch in the adjacent stitch. Pull tight. The first braid is now done. Continue with the same method for the second braid. After completing, work 1 slip stitch in the adjacent stitch. Work 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. The second braid is now finished. The method for the following hair braid is similar. Pay attention and refer to the chart to crochet the corresponding stitches. 1 braid corresponds to 1 stitch. Everyone can refer to the previous demonstration and chart. Finish crocheting them. After completing the last braid, join with a slip stitch at the starting position of the first braid to finish. Everyone, take a look. This is what it looks like after the braid is completed. Next, secure the hair above the head. Make sure the wrong side of the braid faces up. The right side faces the top of the head. These 4 shorter braids are positioned directly opposite the face. The center of the scalp corresponds to the center starting point on the head. Pin them in place with pins. Close the braids to the head. These 4 short braids are separated along the forehead. Glue them behind the outer corners of the eyes. In the position in front of the ears. The ends of the middle braids are secured above the outer side of the braids. The remaining braids are neatly arranged behind the ears. After determining the correct positions, securely glue the areas where the braids meet the head. The ends of the braids do not need to be fixed. Let them curl naturally. This completes the securing of the hair. Next, we will make the ends of the hair. Let's take a look at the finished product. Start with a chain stitch. Work back and forth along the starting chain. After completion, attach it to the corresponding position on the hair. The new stitch technique used is FV/DC 2-in-1, FW/DC 3-in-1. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific making method. The starting chain is 7ch. This indicates that the method for casting on is the chain cast on. Start with 7 stitches. First, start with a chain stitch. Hang the yarn with your left hand. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. Position it below the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Use your left thumb and middle finger to pinch the crossing point of the loop. Place the hook on the left side of the yarn. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Tighten it slightly. Chain 1. The loop on the hook should be a little loose. It will make crocheting easier later. Continue with chain stitches. 1 braid represents 1 stitch. The loop on the hook doesn't count in the stitch count. Continue to finish the required number of stitches. The starting chain is now complete. Next, let's begin with the first row. Dowel 4, FV, T, X, W, X, T, FW. Dowel 4. This means start crocheting on the 4th stitch, from the end of the starting chain. Pick up the top strand of this braid. Work a double crochet increase. That is, work 2 double crochets in this braid. Then pick the adjacent braid on the left side. Work 1 half double crochet and 1 single crochet. Then W is making 3 single crochets in one stitch. That is, crochet 3 single crochets in the remaining chain stitch of the starting chain. 1, 2, 3. The SC 3-in-1 is complete. Rotate the piece. You can see that. On this side, each chain stitch position has 2 strands of yarn left. Pick up the 2 strands left from the adjacent chain stitch below. Work 1 single crochet. Place the starting tail over your hook. Weave in the ends as you go along. Crochet 1/2 double crochet. Continue by crocheting 3 double crochets into one stitch on the left side. The insertion position is in the same hole as the first stitch. Crochet 3 double crochets in this spot. The 3 double crochets in one stitch are complete. A portion of the starting tail has already been woven in. You can cut it directly. The first row is done. Take the clearer texture side of the first row as the right side. This will be the front side of your piece. Now move on to the second row. Work into the back loops only for this row. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. This counts as the first double crochet. Turn means to turn your work. Position the wrong side towards you. Turn the piece counterclockwise. Insert your hook under the stitch from the previous row. Work into the back loop that is further away from you. Make 1 double crochet increase. Note that on the wrong side, the stitch appears as the braid on the top left. Continue down and pick up the back loop of the adjacent stitch on the left. Follow the chart instruction for corresponding stitch patterns. Complete this row. The last stitch is a DC 3-in-1. Pick up the turning chain from the row above. Crochet behind the third braid strand. The second row is now complete. Continue with the third row. Still work into the back loops only. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Turn the piece counterclockwise. Pick up the back loop of the stitch from the row below. Work 1 double crochet increase. Then pick up the back loop of the adjacent stitch. Follow the chart for corresponding stitches. Complete this row. On the third chain of the turning chain from the previous row, work 1 DC 3-in-1. Then secure with a chain stitch. Fasten off normally. Weave in the ends on the wrong side of the last row. Trim any excess yarn. The third row is now complete. One fishtail section is now crocheted. It forms a fishtail shape like this. Repeat the same method. Refer to the stitch pattern chart and the previous demonstration to crochet the other fishtail. Then you can create another fishtail. Next, attach the hair tails to the back of the head. Position the right side of the hair tails facing the back strand of the head. Make sure the two hair tails are symmetrical in direction. This way, the pointed ends face each other. Align them roughly with the ears on the same circle level. The tips of the two hair tails should be about 2.5 centimeters apart. According to this positioning, secure the hair tails onto the head strand using glue. Now the hair tails are attached. Next, let's make the hair accessories. We'll start with the veil. Take out the wide lace trim. You can see that the lace has 2 layers. First, cut 2 pieces of the wide lace slightly longer than the width of the doll's head. Separate the 2 layers of tulle on one piece of the lace. Be mindful not to damage it while cutting. Once done, take the piece of tulle with the polka dot pattern that you separated. Place it on top of the head. Wrap its edge along the bangs and above the hair tail edges. Keep the middle part slightly loose. Let it naturally puff up a bit. You can temporarily secure it with pins. The excess part at the back can be trimmed later. Then take the other segment of the wide lace trim. Position it with the flowers facing up. Place the wrong side toward the head. Place it above the hair tail. Hold down the tulle from the front and secure it with pins. You can fold the sides slightly backward for a bit. Finally, take out the narrow lace trim. The difference between the right and wrong side of the narrow lace trim isn't obvious. One side has this kind of pattern, the other side is ribbon-like. Position the ribbon side of the narrow lace trim facing up. Start from above the bangs. Sew along the edge of the front tulle, and sew through the middle of the flowers on the back wide lace trim. Cut a piece of the remaining yarn from the main crocheted part. Pull out one strand and insert it into the gold needle. Start sewing from above the bangs. At the starting position, sew a couple extra stitches to secure it. Leave one section of yarn tail at the end. Continue sewing downward along the ribbon. Create appropriate pleats while sewing. The exact number and width of the pleats are not fixed. Just make them roughly even. Finally, trim off the excess lace. Sew a few extra stitches at the ending position to secure it. Tie the yarn tails from the beginning, and end with a double knot. Weave in the ends. That completes the veil. Next, attach the pink pearls above the veil. Also attach the acrylic flowers and pendants. The front edge of the pink pearls should roughly correspond to the ears. Leave an interval of about 4 centimeters between each pair of pearls. You can first use pins to mark the sewing position. Then cut a piece of the remaining yarn from the main crocheted part. Pull out one strand and insert it into a properly sized gold needle with a tail. Tie the yarn end with a double knot. First, sew twice on the corresponding hairband position to secure it. Then bring the needle out from this position. Pass the needle through a pink pearl. Then thread it through a small seed bead. Bring the needle back through the pink pearl. And pass it through the corresponding position of the hairband. Gently tighten the yarn. One pink pearl is now sewn on. Next, sew the acrylic flower below the pink pearl. Pay attention to keep the indented side of the motif facing up. Sew securely. After completion, tie the yarn tail with a double knot close to the fabric. Hide the yarn tail. Then follow the same method on the other side. To symmetrically sew another pink pearl and acrylic flower. After everything is completed, insert the pendant behind the pearl. Apply glue to the end of the pendant with the ring. Insert it roughly in a staggered manner behind the pearl. The upper pendants can be inserted slightly deeper. Insert symmetrically on the other side. Next, on the front side of the veil. At the sewing position corresponding to above the forehead where the narrow lace trim is, attach 3 small pearls on each side. The exact positions are not fixed, just make sure the distance is roughly even. After completion, attach a few pearls at random positions on the veil. The quantity and positions are also not fixed. Distribute large and small pearls unevenly. Finally, take out the Pisces zodiac symbol and 1 sequin. First, face the raised side of the sequin upward. Attach it to the position on the forehead corresponding to the base of these 2 hair pieces. Then stick the zodiac symbol on top of the sequin. Pay attention to the direction of the symbol. This completes all the hair accessories. Next, let's make the necklace. Cut a segment of the remaining yarn tail from the crocheted headpiece. Pull out 1 strand and thread it through a gold needle with an appropriate size. Make sure the needle can pass through the seed beads. First, thread 23 seed beads. The exact number of seed beads can also be determined according to your preference. Then, thread in 1 green glass bead. After completion, tie the yarn tails into a double knot. Ensure the necklace has the right tension, loose enough. Weave the yarn tail through the glass bead to hide it. Secure the other thread in the same way. That concludes the explanation of making the necklace. Next, we'll make the clothing. It's divided into Section 1, Section 2, Sleeves, and Decorations, 4 parts in total. Let's start by learning the crochet method for Section 1. Begin with the chain ring method. Then crochet in rounds. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. The starting chain is 30 ch. Join with a slip stitch to the first stitch to form a circle. First, make 30 chain stitches. Then slip stitch into the first chain stitch. Pay attention. Make sure the chain stitches do not twist here. You can keep all the chain stitches facing up. Align the beginning and end. Place the starting tail of the yarn above the ending yarn tail. Insert the hook from outside to inside into the back loop of the first stitch. Work one slip stitch. Pull tight. Gently pull the starting yarn tail slightly. This creates a flat circle. That's how you complete the starting round. Move on to crochet the first round. Start with one chain as your beginning chain. Then pick up a loop from the top of the corresponding chain below. Work one single crochet. As you go, make sure to tighten the starting tail of the yarn. Continue by working one single crochet into each stitch. Pick up a loop from the top of the chains and work a single crochet. Complete this round. Join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Pull tight. The first round is now completed. For the next round, you need to leave space for the sleeve cap. Start by working 4 single crochets. Then make 2 chain stitches. Skip the next 7 stitches on the left side. Work 1 single crochet into the 8th stitch. Continue downward with 2 more single crochets. Make 1 single crochet increase. And then work 4 single crochets. Once completed, make 2 more chain stitches. Skip 7 stitches. Start working 4 single crochets from the 8th stitch. Once finished, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Tighten. The second round is complete. These 2 chain positions form the sleeve cap like this. For the third round, work even single crochets. When you reach the chain position, pick up the strand above the chain braid. Work single crochets evenly into each stitch. Continue crocheting all the way down. The third round is complete. The working method for the remaining part is relatively simple. Just refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding stitches. Everyone, please refer to the table and finish the remaining rounds of section 1 according to the previous demonstration. After completion, fasten off normally. Everyone, take a look. This is what section 1 of the sample looks like after it's completed. The number of rounds in the sample is fewer. I will only explain the method. Take the side of section 1 with slip stitch marks as the wrong side of the garment. Next, we will make section 2 of the garment. Join the yarn on the right side of the last round of section 1. Crochet back and forth along section 1. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crochet technique. First, let's join the yarn. Take out the corresponding yarn. Make a slip knot. Place the right side of section 1 towards you. Ensure the ending position is facing up. Press the sleeve cap flat. Join the yarn in the middle stitch, on the right side of the last round of section 1. Insert the hook into this stitch. Pull the slip knot through. Adjust the loop size. Then make one chain as your beginning chain. Skip the stitches below. Start from the adjacent stitch on the left. Work one single crochet into each stitch. Complete this row. Finish with the last single crochet. Work one slip stitch into the stitch below the beginning chain. Pull tight. Row 1 is completed. Move on to row 2. Chain 1 to begin. Turn the piece. Pick up the adjacent single crochet stitch on the left. Work single crochets evenly. Finish crocheting this row. Row 2 is now completed. The crocheting method for the remaining part of section 2 is quite simple. Just work back and forth along the stitches of the previous row. Next, I'll show you how to count the rows. Start from the row where the fabric joins the yarn. Count from the right side. You can see that the odd-numbered rows are the texture of the front side of the single crochets. The even-numbered rows are the texture of the back side. Count the rows directly by alternating front and back. Avoiding the chain stitch positions. Start counting from either side. 1, 2, 3, 4. My sample swatch already has 4 rows completed. This is how you count the rows. Refer to the chart and the previous demonstration to finish crocheting the remaining part of section 2. After finishing the last row of section 2, it's time to crochet the edging. I'll demonstrate using this small sample. First, crochet 1 chain stitch. Rotate the piece. Pick up the left side of the single crochet edge. Work a single crochet with 2 strands of yarn. Continue down 1 row of single crochet edges. Correspondingly make 1 single crochet stitch. Finish crocheting this edge. Go all the way until the second row of section 2. After completing, at the slip stitch position in the first row, crochet 1 slip stitch. Then continue picking up the left side of the single crochet edge and work single crochets. Finish crocheting this edge. Complete the last single crochet stitch. Stretch the loop. Leave about 10 centimeters of yarn tail. Cut off. Thread the needle with the yarn tail. Exit from the adjacent stitch, which is the first single crochet stitch of the last row in section 2. Then insert the needle through the middle of this stitch with the yarn tail. Gently tighten it. Hide the remaining yarn tail on the wrong side of the piece. You can see that after securing the yarn tail this way, there are no obvious marks on the surface. The texture looks much neater. Everyone, take a look. This is what section 2 of the sample looks like when completed. Next, we'll crochet the sleeves. Place section 1 with the right side facing out, with the neckline facing up, at these 2 chain stitch positions on either side of the armhole. Pick the chain stitch on the left. Join the yarn here. Start with 1 beginning chain. Then work 1 single crochet in the corresponding position below the chain. Next, at the connection point between the chain and the stitch, pick up the 2 strands of the single crochet edge and work 1 single crochet. Now we've reached the skipped stitch position. Work 7 single crochets into the corresponding picked up stitches. After completing, pick up and work 1 single crochet in the edge of the connecting single crochet. Finally, work 1 single crochet in the chain stitch position. Then join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Tighten. The yarn tail for joining has been woven around once. You can cut it directly. The first round is complete. For the next round, work all single crochets evenly without increasing or decreasing. Finish them according to your own pace. After completing the last stitch, refer to the method used in section 2 for edging and breaking the yarn. Sew and break the yarn at the first stitch. Weave in the ends. One sleeve is now complete. Next, follow the same method to crochet the other sleeve. Everyone, take a look. This is what the sample looks like after both sleeves are completed. Next, let's add decorations to the garment. This includes the lace trim on the sleeves and in section 2. the sequins and pearls. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific making method. Let's start by sewing the lace onto the sleeve. Cut a piece of sequin lace slightly longer than the circumference of the sleeve. You can first use a lighter to melt the edges to prevent fraying. Then proceed with the sewing. Cut a strand of the remaining yarn from the garment crocheting. Here, I randomly choose a color. Thread one strand through the gold needle. Tie the yarn end with a double knot. Take out the garment with the right side facing you and the collar upward. Place the lace trim with the right side up, with the ruffled edge facing outward. Start from underarm and go around the sleeve in a circle. Overlap the beginning and ending. You can first secure it with pins. Then use a sewing needle. Pass through both the lace trim and the corresponding position of the first round on the sleeve. Go along the middle of this circle of sequins. Sew at the matching positions to sew together. After finishing this circle, at the ending position, overlap the lace trim. Sew a few more stitches to secure it. Then tie a double knot on the wrong side of the fabric. Weave in the ends. This completes sewing the lace trim on one sleeve. Sew the other sleeve in the same way. Next, sew the lace trim for section 2. There are 3 layers in total. Start by sewing the first layer. Have the right side towards you, with the neckline facing down, and the scalloped edge of the lace trim facing up. The top edge of the sequins should correspond perfectly with the edge of section 2. Then sew from right to left. Cut a strand of the remaining yarn from the crocheting. Here, I'm choosing colors randomly. Thread one strand into the sewing needle. Tie the tail end with a double knot. Start by sewing a few stitches on the right edge to secure it. Then sew along the middle of the sequins on the lace trim to fix it in place. After finishing this row, cut off any excess lace trim. Sew a few extra stitches at the end to secure it. Weave in the ends. Similarly, use a lighter to singe the edge of the lace trim. That's it for sewing the first layer of the lace. Let's take a look at the finished product. The next two layers of lace are both above the previous layer. The upper edge of the sequins on the lace should perfectly match with the lower edge of the sequins on the previous layer. The sewing method is identical. Everyone can follow this position and the method demonstrated earlier. Sew these two layers of lace to finish. Next, sew the sequins onto the front side of the dress. Let's take a look at the finished product. The sequins start from the waist, running down along the right side. They are staggered in light and dark patterns until you reach the corresponding position of row 9 in section 2, following the curve of the body, forming an S shape at this point. I'll demonstrate the exact sewing technique using this small sample. Cut a length of the remaining yarn strands from the crocheted garment. Thread a suitable sized needle with a strand of golden yarn. Tie the yarn tail into a double knot, first on the corresponding position. Sew twice on the wrong side of the fabric piece to secure it. Then, come out from the corresponding position. Pass through one sequin and one seed bead in sequence. Pay attention that the dent side of the sequin should face up. Then, insert the sewing needle back through the center of the sequin and into the nearby fabric piece. Slightly tighten. One sequin is now sewn. Carry the yarn across directly on the wrong side of the fabric piece. To the next sequin position. Sew another sequin. Sew another sequin. Continue below by following this method, referring to the finished product. Sew the remaining sequins. Once done, tie a double knot. Weave in the ends on the wrong side of the fabric piece. This completes the sequins. Next, attach the pearls onto the garment. The quantity and exact positions of the pearls are not fixed. Just distribute the large and small pearls in a staggered manner. Finally, dress up the doll neatly. This concludes the explanation of the doll. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.